Hard to be honest, keep my heart open, be who we truly are. Healthy excuses, out the facade. There's no pretend. Here in your love, oh Lord, set me free. Oh Lord, set me free. Starting to see you were here all alone. Love wasn't absent. It doesn't come or go. You're patient with me, starting to fade. There's no pretend. Lifting the veil, oh Lord, set me free. Oh Lord, set me free. I let out the cells of my heart. 'Cause here I am, here you are. I let out the cells of my heart. 'Cause here I am, here you are. I let out the cells of my heart. Oh, 'cause here I am, here you are. I let out the cells of my heart. Oh, 'cause here I am, here you are. I let out the cells of my heart. Oh, 'cause here I am, here you are. I let out the cells of my heart. Oh, 'cause here I am, here you are. Falling is easy, staying in love is hard. Well, good evening. Thank you for joining me on this live stream. We are wrapping up season 1, and I didn't know we would make it this far, but we decided to do a live stream to cap off the season. And what you just heard is a worship tune. Now, in season 1, we didn't talk about any of the worship stuff that I do, and so thought we'd open up this live stream with a worship tune for all my worship peeps out there. So today, what else is going to happen? There's going to be a Q&A session, and I haven't looked at the questions. I don't even know what they say, so you're going to get the real live reactions. I'm kind of scared, but we're going to do this. And then to close, we're going to close with an original song. All right, so let's jump right into some of these questions and go from there. Okay. Uh-oh, something happened. Back to it. Number 1 personal question. What is the most trouble you ever got into? Well, I can't tell you one or number 2. I can't tell you number 1 or number 2, but I can tell you number 3. I think I was like 7th or 8th grade, and for once I wasn't the smallest kid in the class, and for some reason, a group of guys in the locker room decided to pick on the youngest guy there, the smallest guy there. And so we gave him an ultimate wedgie. Now, that's not necessarily a big deal, but the ultimate wedgie was so bad that he had to leave school immediately and go to the hospital. So, of course, I was suspended. My dad came to school, and it was not good. Oh, and then I think that same year, I'll tell you about that. That same year, I happened to be walking through a classroom, said the word bitch, and I was written up for that. Some people thought I was calling a teacher bitch. I would never do that. And so that was probably the most trouble I ever got in. And it was like, 12 or 13 where I was kind of like feeling myself, testing authorities, that kind of thing. So that was probably the most trouble I've ever been in. Wow. What is one of your biggest weaknesses? Probably trusting people. That's real. That's probably one of my biggest weaknesses. I typically take on things myself and think I can do it better. And I know that it'll get done, but I think that trust piece probably affects my relationships on a real level. What is one of your biggest strengths? Probably still living with fear, but like swallowing that fear and just going for it. That's probably my biggest, I think that's my biggest strength. I would probably say I'm okay talented, but I think it's just that belief that I can get through this thing if I do it. So probably just swallowing that fear and pressing on. What is your most useless talent you have? Gosh. I don't know. I try to modernize everything I do. So, and you'll see more of that. You'll see more of the fitness stuff coming in season 2. There's some new hobbies that are happening, so you'll see more of those coming in season 2 as well. Do you have a girlfriend or boyfriend, or have you ever been in love? Oh, wow. Of course I've been in love. I mean, I write, as an artist, we write about love. And so, I've loved, I've been left in love, I've broken hearts, my heart's been broken, so I write about all those things. Do you have a favorite food? I do have a favorite food. My favorite food is probably anything Asian cuisine. I really love sushi a lot. And the cool thing, we'll talk about that in a second, but I love sushi a lot. I love pho. But since I'm keto right now, we'll talk about No Excuses Fit coming up. Since I'm keto, I can't really do sushi with rice. So we found this great recipe with cucumber, smoked salmon, avocado, and cream cheese, and amino coconut. And I think I like it better than sushi, actually. So I do miss rice, but I don't miss all those heavy carbs. Incidentally, COVID started in March, and I think I was really depressed like right away because I knew I wasn't going to be performing live. And so I started to eat a whole bunch of Reese's and barbecue chips and nachos. I love nachos and cheese, oh my gosh. So I started to eat a whole lot every day. And the next thing I know, I'm sitting at like 190. And I'm not a huge guy. I'm like 5'8" and some change. And so that's a lot of extra weight. So over the last 2 months, I'm down 20 some pounds. And so I still got about 10 more to go. And so excited about what that looks like. So be sure you're checking out No Excuses Fit. We have the Instagram up. The website is almost finished. And so we're just going to be talking about, I'm going to be cooking and showing you keto recipes and clean recipes and low carb recipes. And so if you want to join in, make sure you check that out. You join that Instagram, you join that Facebook page. And, we're going to be talking about, how to go from 190, which is considered obese, to being within, the right BMI. And a lot of it is, a lot of it for me was exercise and eating right. But, if you're having trouble with that, just start one thing. Cut out, Coke. Cut out pop, and just drink water. Just start there. Then in the next month, go for a walk. And a lot of it just starts with your diet. If you get your diet under control, everything else really falls into place. All right, enough about that. Who would you like to collaborate with? Golly, I mean, so that great question. So the song that you're going to hear here in a couple minutes is actually a country song, and I wrote it with a country like artist in mind, and so hopefully, a country artist will hear this and see it, and they'll want to take it and put their spin on it. Maybe we can even record it in here. So I would love to. I've never collaborated with a country artist. I would love to collaborate with a country artist. I think that would be really, really cool. But of course, I'd love to collaborate with Leon Bridges, Gary Clark Jr., Curtis Harding, Mark Broussard, Johnny Gill, just to name a few. Of course, I'd love to collaborate with those folks. If you could open a show for any artist, who would it be and why? Open? That's a good question. Probably like Gary Clark or Leon Bridges. I think we probably share close to the same audiences. I think that could be really cool. And why? Probably why because, golly, I look up to those guys. I feel like they are mentors as well as possible colleagues. What and who inspired you to make music? That's a great question. A lot of people inspired me. I think the first person who I really admired was my worship leader. I went to an all-black Baptist church, and so a lot of times we did these up-tempo hymns on piano, and he would just be gone. He would just be singing, just in that moment. I think that was like the first person that I was inspired. He just had this great voice, His name was Larry Holston. Matter of fact, he only lives about 10, 15 minutes down the road. So he probably inspired me. And then from there, I just began to absorb as much music as I possibly could, from choirs to gospel music to Lionel Harris to Sandy Patty to Johnny Gill to New Edition, Michael Jackson. Obviously, I just started. Back then we had to tape things off the radio, so I was just taping things off the radio and studying their vocal talent. Okay, next question. What advice would you give someone who wants to follow your footsteps? So I have a daughter, and I was glad that she didn't do music for a living, only because it's not an easy road. You have to be very stubborn, thick-headed to really go after this, and you got to have some backup plans in place. The advice that I would give them is never stop. Just push forward no matter what. When people laugh at you, and people used to laugh at me, we'd go to Kings Island and I'd do back then you could go and do a recording or a video recording, and I tried to do Boys to Men, and I just wasn't vocally there yet, right? And so people would laugh at me, or I'd sing at church and I would choke, and my family would rib me and give me a hard time, but it was, that was tough and hard in the moment, but those are the things that that made you tough and made you press on, and made you say, hey, I'm going to do this regardless of what anyone thinks. So you have to really want it. You have to really be stubborn about it. Have you ever dealt with performance anxiety? And if so, how did you overcome? It's an every time I get up to stage, it's an anxiety, especially when I was younger, and I was much more rehearsed back then. But it was one of those things that, it was like I have to get through this. It was like a challenge. I had to beat this thing. I had to overcome it. And so, I just had to do it. The way I think I overcame it was just being really, really prepared. If this mistake happened, I knew how to get back on. If this happened, I knew how to get back on. Or on this part of the song, I'm gonna walk to this stage, and this part of the song, I'm gonna walk here. I'm gonna do this. So I scripted out really pretty much everything I was gonna do, and it looked like it was natural, but everything was scripted out. Even today, I'm getting ready to lead worship here in a little bit, and so it looks like I'm just going off of a whim, but I've sat down here in this space and walked through how I want to present, this worship song and what I want the audience to take from it. So I've always been about preparation. Okay. What has been your biggest challenge as an artist, and how did you overcome it? Golly. Honestly, I'm just going to be really honest. I think I'm facing my biggest challenge as an artist now. There's YouTube and Facebook and Spotify and Facebook ads and trying to connect with my audience, trying to find my audience. And so we're in a different space now, and so we're walking through some of those challenges, and I'm excited about what that looks like moving forward. What do you feel is the best song you ever released, and why? Oof. Man, that's a tough one. Golly. The best song. Probably probably Have Mercy, which we just released, I think a month ago. It finally feels like my production is coming together, my vocals are coming together, my mixing is coming together. It just seems like everything is coming together, and so I'm probably the most proud of that song. Probably the song that I love the most. From a writing standpoint, is probably Security Blanket. Matter of fact, so just so you know, that's our season opener, and that song is all about a relationship where someone is, two people have been together for a couple years, and one person is asking the question, do you love me, or am I just your security? Am I just the thing that you come home to and you rely on? And so the song is crucial. So excited for you to hear it. Okay, how has your music evolved since first starting? Golly, my first album, which is somewhere, I don't know if you can see it. Oh yeah, right there, 24/7. I had producers really, produce that album, and I had, back then I had no idea what the heck I was doing. I was just a singer. I couldn't play guitar, a little bit of keys, no bass at that time. So now I understand the process and what it takes to really make a song work and come alive. Okay. Open this back up. It closed on me. Bear with me. Details. Okay, here we go. These are a lot of questions. So I guess my music has evolved in the fact that I now know what I want the guitar to say when my vocals can't say it. I now can see a vision for us. Like when I have people in here in the studio and we're working on a tune, I now have a vision of, hey, where I want to take this song. So when I was a singer, I didn't necessarily understand it. And I think that growth has happened because there's been some great mentors that have come along the way that have really taught me, hey, this is how you put a band together. This is how you do a chart. This is how you relate to your audience. Do you write your own music, or do you collaborate with others? All the above. Collaborating can be interesting, especially in a band setting. when you collaborate in a band setting, it's usually one person really has the vision for the song, or they're more invested in the song, and so they might lead it. But when I'm writing my own music, I like that because it's coming strictly from my heart and my gut. So my music making process is typically it's all over the map. I might wake up at 2 a.m. and run in the studio and plunk out some chords on the keyboard, or I might be driving in the car and I'll hear this tune and I'll take out my voice memo and just record this melody, or I might just pick up my guitar and just start messing around with some chords, and then the next thing you know, a melody happens. Or I might just pull up the computer and I might hear a loop or something that inspires me, and then maybe I'll chop up the loop, or maybe I'll dissect the loop and make it my own. So that process is like, my gosh, it takes so many different forms. And 10 years ago, I'd never had that ability. So there's been growth thanks to some of those mentors. So if you didn't become a musician, what would you be doing right now? Probably not too far what I do now. Like, I lead worship. So I'd probably, in some form or fashion, be helping, churches impact people's lives in some way. But my second love is recruiting. I love recruiting because I can take a family that's making, $30,000, right? And put them in a job when they now double, their income, and now they can send little Johnny to college, or they can put him in baseball or karate, right? And then that can begin to have, change within that family. And moving forward, now that family is on a totally different trajectory. So I love recruiting. Just for that reason. Probably the same reason I love music, because you can inspire people and put them on a totally different trajectory. Okay, do you sing in the shower? No, I don't. It's funny. The shower is actually where I do my thinking and come up with these crazy ideas that we do here. So that's my place to think, and a lot of times good ideas will come out the shower, and I'll call my partner up and say, hey, this is what happened in the shower. This is what I'm thinking. So, what's next for you? What are your professional goals and personal goals? Golly, what's next? So season 2 is next. We have a release every Sunday at 6 p.m. We're going to be starting season 2 probably late August, after my birthday, August 20th. So, if you want to get me something, feel free. Or you want to go shopping on my store at IamCoreyTucker/shop. Feel free to, check that out as well. So what's coming up? We're going to be getting out gigging again. Thank God COVID is over. It's like coming to an end. So we're going to get back out. Long term, I would love to, get on the road, do some personal events just with my original music. So that's coming up as well. Maybe I'll do some home concerts. Come to your house, do some cooking for you, then put on a show for you. So hopefully that's coming in the future. Professional and personal goals, man, just keep growing with YouTube, keep growing with the video stuff that we're doing. Keep writing great material. We're actually in the process of getting back in the studio and writing more material to be released coming up later this year. And just hopefully finding, expanding and finding the audience and connecting with the audience. All right. Now, to wrap this up, I'm going to do this song. I told you it is a country song. Hope I do it justice. But if you know a country artist that has a kick-ass band that wants to come, and we could just drop this song right in here. We could do it here. If you know a country artist, make sure you show them this live stream. So the name of this song is called "Hold Me." It goes like this. can't seem to get along. All we do is talk, reminiscing about the past. Backseat of my truck, wanna be the one you call your home. Wipe your tears, you'll never belong. Hold me for a little while, hold me till it hurts. Nothing like the feel of you, nothing like your touch. Never give it up on us, never give it up on love. Reminiscing about the past, laugh until it hurts. Wanna be the one you call your home. Wipe your tears, you're never alone. Hold me for a little while, hold me till it hurts. Nothing like the feel of you, nothing like your touch. Hold me for a little while. Know that I can get real tough, push a fight out your trust. Jealous, can't you see it's me? Wanna be yours exclusively. Hold me for a little while, hold me till it hurts. Nothing like the feel of you, nothing like your touch. Hold me for a little while, hold me till it hurts. That wraps up season 2. I'm excited to learn more about you. So tell me some interesting stuff about you. What's your biggest strength or weakness? What are you passionate about? Connect with me on my website, imcoreytucker.com. Also go to my Facebook page, like that as well. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Then one more time, go to Instagram, like me there, follow me there, and then subscribe to the newsletter. And we'll get to know each other a little bit better. So peace and love. I will see you guys soon.